Nannies, babysitters, and au pairs. Where would we be without them?
They keep our kids safe and ensure peace of mind, so it's important to make sure they're protected as well.
In this video, we break down whether or not you need additional insurance when using in-home childcare.
We'll be going over 6 questions to figure out if nanny insurance is right for you.
What is nanny insurance?
When we say nanny insurance, we are actually just referring to a certain kind of workers' compensation policy. Workers' compensation protects an employee and their employer from work-related risks. These payments include limited disability payments, medical expenses, employer liability, repetitive injury care, ongoing care expenses, treatment for work-related illnesses, and funeral expenses. However, workers' compensation coverage isn't the only insurance you'll need to worry about. If the nanny will be driving your child anywhere, you'll want to make sure that they have the right auto insurance coverage in place. And having a nanny creates an additional liability exposure for you. So you'll want to make sure that the nanny has their own personal liability coverage. And we definitely recommend you consider a personal umbrella policy. Who is nanny insurance a good fit for?
Workers' compensation insurance is required for anyone who hires a babysitter, nanny, or au pair that works at least 16 hours a week. However, you may still want this coverage even if your nanny doesn't work more than 16 hours to ensure they are protected and to protect you from a lawsuit if they do get injured on the job. Also, if you will be sharing a nanny or using a shared in-home tutor, you'll want your own policy, even if the other families have one. When should I buy a nanny insurance policy?
If your child is getting ready for the summer and you are gearing up to go back to work, it may be time to get your nanny insurance squared away. Remember, the best time to purchase a policy is always before you hire a nanny, as it takes a few days for a policy to be put in place. Why do I need nanny insurance policy?
If you hire a nanny, nanny insurance is a good way to keep you, your family, and your nanny protected. Besides, if you employ anyone who works more than 16 hours a week, you are required to have a policy in place for workers' compensation in Massachusetts. Why? Let's say your nanny or babysitter gets injured on the job and can no longer work. The policy could pay them a portion of their lost wages while they're out of work. Without the policy, they could sue you for payment, which you would need to cover out of pocket. If the nanny or the agency you hired them from decides to sue you, your insurance could also protect you by paying for legal fees. How much is a nanny insurance policy?
At Barry Insurance, we recommend $1 million of coverage for workers' compensation insurance for nannies. At the time of recording this video, the policy cost is $285 a year. This may change from year to year as Massachusetts workers' compensation policies and rates do fluctuate. Lower limits are available, but a very small savings, which is why we always recommend the highest coverage available at $1 million. Remember, you are required to insure each nanny you hire. How do I purchase a nanny insurance policy?
To get workers' compensation for your nanny, you first need a free federal employer identification number. You can obtain one by going on the IRS website. If you're using a payroll service for your nanny, they may also be able to obtain one for you. Once you have the employer identification number, you can reach out to your insurance agent for help setting up your policy. It may take a few days for your policy to be approved and issued, so be sure you start the application process as soon as possible. To pay for your policy, you will need to pay in full using a checking or savings account number. Because this is a state-run insurance program, there are currently no other ways to accept payment. Ready to get a workers' compensation insurance policy for your nanny, babysitter, or au pair?
You can get in touch with us at the link below or call us here. We're excited to hear from you.
If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. The right nanny not only takes care of your child, but also provides you peace of mind.
With the right insurance policy, you can have peace of mind knowing your nanny is also protected.